I'm a cop. I'm a dog.
Welcome to Pop Culture Man, children.
You'll get the reference soon, kids. We promise.
I am Mike Bongiorno. With me today is Emilio Poochinski Sparks.
How you doing?
Today we are talking about
the greatest television show that never existed but should have.
The pilot. It only was a pilot, but it did air on television.
It did.
The pilot to the 1990 series Poochinski
On NBC.
Boom, boom, boom. Now, what's Poochinski about?
Oh, you tell me.
It's about Peter Boyle as Stanley Poochinski.
It was so... Oh, God, he was so good.
By the way, Pooch for Poochinski,
Yeah.
it's two paw prints
Yep.
as the OOs.
Yep.
So Stanley Poochinski is he's a
Rough and gruff, sloppy detective.
he's a Chicago cop. He's the kind of guy that orders a pizza to a stakeout. He
Unconventional.
He's got a girlfriend who's a sex worker that he carries around a picture of her in his
yep.
wallet. He at one point at the beginning of the episode, he threatens children with an armed gun.
Yep.
The very first thing we hear in the show is a dispatcher calling in a crime.
They saying you got a sexy voice.
And Poochinski sexually harasses
And
her.
she's like, I've heard of you.
I know about you, Stanley Poochinski. And this is over beautiful images of Chicago.
Did you like the Police Squad homage with the headlight?
Yes.
You picked up on that.
Do you like the sexy jazz music of the show?
It was very sexy.
So Poochinski, he's got himself a new partner, and the partner, they're an odd couple. The partner goes by the book.
Straight-laced, uptight.
Yes, he seems very much like a Bobo version of
Felix Unger.
No, I was gonna say Judd Reinhold in Beverly Hills Cop. He looks like him a little bit too.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's Judd Reinhold because Judd was very loose as a goose and he would follow,
No, that's like in the sequels, but in the first...
Oh, he was uptight?
Yeah, the first Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
He was the Beverly Hills, like, I do everything by the book, and Eddie Murphy's like the Poochinski, who's like, hey, sometimes you gotta break a few eggs, oh.
Yeah.
So...
Don't confuse hygiene with character.
Yes. Oh, for one 21-minute pilot, the amount of quotable lines... So, Peter Boyle, who you probably know as Frank, the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond. He's also the monster in Young Frankenstein. He's also Wizard in the great Scorsese movie Taxi Driver. He's great. He's Poochinski, and he finds a mutt. He finds a dog.
Yes, he does.
A bulldog, who, by the way, he finds him because there's a bunch of children beating the dog mercilessly. Yeah. And then he threatens the children with a gun, and they run away. And then he takes the dog, and now he's got a dog. Well, while on a stakeout,
and the dog smells.
Yeah,
you got to remember you got to set up there's a real importance about the dog. The dog is like a representation of Poochinski himself. Rough around the edges, dirty, has no manners, drools, pisses everywhere.
Right.
So let's keep that in mind.
One of my favorite things is in the beginning of the show. He goes to the dog. The dog's in the back seat, and he goes to the dog. Come on, give me a kiss. And the dog licks him on the face. And then the fucking douchebag cop, who's not his partner, the other fucking cop, he goes, hey Poochinski, you finally got somebody who'll give you a kiss. And he goes, I'd hate anyone to think I'm unfaithful to your wife. And the guy, like he's never heard a joke before, looks so deflated that Poochinski just fucking slammed him in front of everybody. And so they go on a stakeout. They're staking out, by the way, a guy who mugs people at a ATM, which seems like not that huge a crime.
Well, back then it was. Now maybe not so much because you could easily just steal their identity. But back then it was like, oh.
There's a chase. Poochinski.
Somehow the dog gets out of the car?
Yes. Poochinski is hit by a vehicle.
But let's preface by saying how they were arguing.
Yes, please.
And that the tight-laced, stuck-up.
He was upset that Poochinski ordered a pizza.
Yeah.
And then threw the pizza in the backseat because he didn't like it.
And he was singing Dean Martin songs.
Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. Now, everybody La 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 la.
Poochinski, for God's sakes, this is a stakeout.
He sounded like D. Martin a little bit, too.
He had a good voice. He had a sweet, sweet voice.
It was very sweet.
So Poochinski's hit by a car, and as he's dying, we see this beautiful cinematography of his eyes and then the dog's eyes, close-ups, and then what do you know?
Some of the shots were nice in that pilot.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, but see, that's what they don't explain though.
Yeah.
Like, is it at that like? Does the dog have magical powers? Like I don't understand how they swap souls. So the dog dies, but not Poochinski.
It's funny that you say that. Do they swap? It looks to me like he just goes into the dog, which makes me wonder, where's the dog? In hell? Or is the dog in the sunken place? He's just trapped inside of his body while Poochinski walks around.
You don't think it's like that Fred Savage, Judd Reinhold vehicle where they, like Freaky Friday, where they like kind of switched?
So you think the dog, having felt protection and love for Poochinski for the first time in its life,
sacrificed his own vessel, his soul.
He said, I'll die. You could bury me in Peter Boyle's body.
Yeah, and then I'll take over.
Well, that's an interesting. That's how I didn't read it.
I'll take the vessel that is
yeah.
Poochinski over, and we'll just
now
body
Poochinski. Swap. But we then cut to Poochinski's funeral, and
do you still think like this is not the greatest thing in the world? Because it is.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest sitcom. I want to start writing Poochinski fan fiction. So
could we do a YouTube where we're called Poochinski Theory?
Yeah, and then we'll do Poochinski fan films, and then whoever owns Poochinski will sue us.
Yeah.
But what did you think about the scene where Poochinski reveals himself to his partner?
Well, first he was having this contemplative, I'm sorry I let you down, I should have been there for you.
Yeah, he's the only one left at the funeral.
You're my partner. You know, like a real contemplative moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then you hear, I forget what he says, but the guy, to his shock and dismay, his partner's a dog.
And he goes, surprise!
Hey, how you doing?
And he's at the funeral. Poochinski as a dog.
He's at his own funeral.
Was at his own funeral.
Yeah.
Boy, you're really beating yourself up over this, aren't you?
Who said that?
Short memory. It's your partner, Poochinski. Ha! Surprise!
Poochinski, by the way, when he's walking, he's a real bulldog. But when he's not walking, he's a bad puppet.
Yeah.
It's a lot like how they did Salem in the original
the animatronics
Sabrina.
are off.
Yeah, it's clearly just a guy with a hand and a rubber dog.
And the hand movement, like the head movements are so off.
Yeah. And it's funny, the dog's talking to him and the partner doesn't accept that it's Poochinski, and it's not until the dog starts singing Dean Martin that he's like, oh my God, this
it's
dog
you.
is Poochinski.
Meanwhile, first it wasn't, okay, well, I ordered a pizza at a stakeout. My badge number is 301. No, it has... No. First off, wouldn't you be a little stunned if you had a talking dog come up to you?
Yeah, the partner, McKay, he gets... he accepts the whole premise very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, 21 minutes. They had a lot to do in a short little...
Well, they had to establish the plot.
Yeah. So now, McKay and Poochinski, they're living together because Poochinski...
is a dog.
He's a dog now.
He has no apartment.
But he puts his little paw on the remote control to turn on the TV.
And then
He
Huckleberry Hound is on.
And he's loving it. The minute he turns on it, he goes... Poochinski, it's interesting. Even though his soul isn't a dog, he can speak in perfect English.
He's a man.
He's a man just in a dog's body. Now, Amy Yaspek.
Yep, she's in it.
She's in it as the hot widow.
The love interest.
The love interest for McKay. She was the wife of John Ritter, who's one of the producers of this pilot.
Yep.
Poochinski. And Poochinski, he's got two goals in this pilot. Number one, let's find the guy who killed me.
Yep.
Number two, I'm going to help you get laid. I'm going to help you date that nice widow down the hallway.
But remember, McKay was saying, oh, I have a girl, and Poochinski's asking, well, like, how serious is? Oh, we talk in the hallway every so often.
And Poochinski's like, ah.
Now, let's remember, though, the falling out that McKay and Poochinski had in the apartment.
Yeah.
Where he leaves Poochinski, and he's like, I'll fix your ass.
Yeah.
And he goes upstairs.
Yes.
And he goes to his love interests.
Yeah.
And they bring the dog down. He makes dinner.
He also locks Poochinski in the bedroom.
Well, they had words first. They had words, which I would think if I was Amy Yazbeth and I'm in the kitchen,
Yeah.
I'd think like, who the fuck is this guy talking to?
Why is he talking to this rubber dog?
Yeah, and like, why is he like screaming at this dog?
Yeah.
Like, wait, do they hear Poochinski or does McKay only hear Poochinski?
I think anyone can hear Poochinski because don't we remember when Poochinski goes into the elevator? There's a guy reading a newspaper and he goes,
says,
five, please. And the guy hits the 5 button.
Yeah.
But he's not paying attention.
No, he's not. He's reading a newspaper.
By the way, one of my favorite lines, we went over this, but one of my favorite lines is when he meets him at the funeral. He goes, have you found the guy who killed me yet? And he's like, no, I got a
desk
me on a
job.
desk. And he says this great thing. I don't know if this is real cop talk, but he goes, a desk? Your partner was murdered and you sat down?
I don't think anybody else could have played that. I think it had to be Peter Boyle.
Oh, it had to be Peter Boyle as Poochinski.
Yeah.
By the way, what great coincidence that he's got the word pooch in his last name.
Yeah, it's
Poochinski.
supposed to be.
By the way, do you like that they keep playing the riff from Bad to the Bone whenever Poochinski is on screen?
Of course.
Banana.
But it's not really the riff.
No, it's like kind of.
It's kind of like, all right, we don't want to get sued or have to pay the royalties for it, so we're going to do something that sounds similar.
I love some of the lines. When he's talking to McKay about Amy Asser, he goes, you don't need a nose like mine to pick up the scent that this babe is into you.
Yeah. It was so stereotypically 80s.
I used to have a hairy back, but this is ridiculous.
And then that's the touching scene.
Oh, that great scene where he goes, look at me. I've become a dog.
What's the matter, Poochinski?
Look at me. I've become a dog. It's all sinking in now. I mean, I used to have hair on my back, but this is ridiculous.
At least you haven't lost your sense of humor.
I lost a lot more. My identity, my home, my Claire. Some nights we just go for a walk. Maybe stay home and arm wrestle. Now all these are good for is digging up bones.
Poochinski, Stan, quit feeling sorry for yourself. You got a lot to be thankful for. Sure, you're a dog, and that's different, but it's life. It's precious life. You ought to be grateful you were given a second chance. And no matter what happens, you got yourself a roommate and a friend.
Yeah, because he looks at the mirror.
Yeah. And then the guy's like, you have life. Beautiful, precious life. The touching moment is really the best part of the episode, I think.
Now, where would have went?
I think...
And why didn't it air another episode?
I think... Well, I believe NBC was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
But it fit with what they were doing. Like, Brendan Todikoff should have signed off on it.
Well, 1990... What else was happening in 1990 on NBC?
Do we want to look up 90s sitcoms on NBC?
Yeah. Well, NBC had Cheers, right? Was it still on in 1990?
Yes, I think it ended in like
Who
93.
had Alf? Because I'm thinking Alf is the only thing close to Poochinski that I can think of that was a primetime show that aired for a couple seasons. What about when he's arguing with Poochinski and he goes, you're a dog. And Poochinski goes, I'm a cop.
Alf was on NBC, 86 to 90.
So, okay, so they had Alf. They said, you know what?
It could have been the next Alf.
Yeah, it could have been a great block. Alf Poochinski.
But maybe
By the
Alf
way, as
is
a little kid, I would have loved Poochinski.
I love Poochinski now.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
How can you not? See, but maybe the viewer at home
Yeah.
would think, well, you know, I can believe a wise talking alien. I don't think I could understand or follow or believe a wise talking dog.
It could have it could have only gotten better. It's a pilot. It could have only gotten better.
They didn't even hit their fucking moment. Like they would have really fell into the ebb and flow.
I thought
They didn't hit their stride.
I thought that they were gonna like spend the whole season trying to find Poochinski's killer, because that's what they would do now. But no, at the end of the episode, they find Poochinski's killer, and that story's all wrapped up. By the way, Poochinski's killer looks a little bit like Steven Seagal now.
Yes.
He's got like the glasses and the horrible hair, and he's fat.
Yes. Does Aikido.
Yes.
It could have worked for NBC. I would like to see them make I would like to see Poochinski make a comeback. Do it on Netflix.
The pilot was directed by Will Mackenzie. It starred George Newberry as McKay, Amy Aspect, and Peter Boyle. One episode only. Executive producers were David Kirshner, Brian Levant, Robert M. Milan, and John Ritter.
Did John Ritter think that would have been the launching point for his wife's career?
I'm trying to think.
Were they even married then? That was because they met on the set of Problem Child, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in both Problem Child movies.
Those
She
are
also
great-
was in. She
those
was
are great
Maid
movies.
Marian in. Those are great movies. The Problem Child movies.
Yeah, those are great.
She was Maid Marian in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I love that movie too. She's good.
She's also
good.
in Gremlins too.
She's good. I like her.
She is good. She hasn't done. I can't remember the last time I saw her do anything.
I don't know.
Now, if we were to make Poochinski now, reboot it, how would you cast it?
You definitely need an old, gruffy, like guy. I
Okay.
would like to do. I would think you have to have like an old, like something with attitude. Like who I think would be a really good Poochinski?
Who?
The actor that played Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos, just because of the voice.
Okay. I was thinking maybe Ed O'Neill.
I don't know, man. Ed O'Neill has softened to me over time now.
Okay.
Because he's Jay
Modern
Pritchard.
Family.
Yeah.
But I think he could do it.
I think Ed O'Neill could do it, but I think Tony Sirico is the actor's name who I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I like that whole gruffy, like tough guy exterior, but there has to have like an accent. You know what I mean? Ed O'Neill has a real distinct voice.
Right.
But I think you need like that. Like Peter Boyle he didn't have no Chicago accent. Right. Peter Boyle had a New York accent.
Yeah, right. And he even does more of an accent when he is the dog.
Yeah, it's intensified even more.
Yeah.
So I would like Tony Sirico as the dog. Now who would play McKay?
Now McKay, that's the foil. He's important.
I know. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's scratch Tony Sirico.
Yeah.
Let's do it like this. My favorite Netflix show that got canceled, The Good Cop.
Yeah.
Tony Danza as Poochinski.
He would be great as Poochinski.
And we make Josh Groban McKay.
I like this.
And
I
then
like
you
that.
just redo and it's just picking up where The Good Cop left off.
Okay. I'm liking this.
There you go.
I was thinking Bill Hader as McKay.
That's good too.
And how about we get him out of retirement, Joe Pesci as
Wow.
Poochinski.
Yes.
He would be great as Poochinski.
Yes. Alan Arkin would be a great Poochinski, but he's too old.
He'd be very different Poochinski. He wouldn't be as he would be great though, but it'd be a different.
Aren't Pesci and Arkin, not to say that they're old, because we don't want to age shame. But
Pesci is retired.
They're like 80 years old though. So I don't know if you could believe that, they're
Well, you only need a couple scenes with them in the beginning.
they're still hip cops.
So
Maybe Nick Nolte?
oh, Nick Nolte is Poochinski. God damn it, McKay! I had hair on my back before, but this is ridiculous.
That would be good.
What about Harrison Ford?
He would never do it.
God damn it, McKay!
I want a frittata.
But
But you gotta have somebody that's kind of like sloppy.
You don't need a nose like mine to smell at this woman's entail.
But see, I don't think he would be sloppy.
I mean, well,
Tony Danza, you could see he's a little bit sloppy.
he's a thespian. He can see Tony Danza in real life. I don't think is sloppy. I think he vacuums the curtains. And
so you think he actually is more Naselli
I
than
think he's
anything
more
else?
Maselli than I can't. I was gonna say his character from Taxi. I don't remember.
Tony Banta.
Tony Banta.
There you go.
Yeah. His name would have to be Tony Poochinski. They'd have to change it from Stanley to Tony Poochinski.
It would have to be. It would have to be.
And Amy Aspect, who could she be?
Oh, this
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris would be really good. I also think. Oh God, she stars in those. What are those singing movies? Anna Kendrick.
Oh, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick, she would be good.
Kristen Bell, I think, would be really good as
she'd
well.
be very good.
But right now she's in a hit television show.
She'd be great as a female Poochinski.
Yeah.
The neckbeards would be so angry.
Oh, they'd be like, this isn't like the original Poochinski.
This SJW Poochinski reboot. I'm boycotting the new Poochinski.
Oh my God.
She'd be great. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Since we're thinking about The Good Place, I'm thinking if you want to go a whole different route with it,
because it doesn't have to be
Ted
so.
Danson would be a really good, different kind of Poochinski.
Well, it doesn't have to be so slapsticky.
No, it doesn't.
Because that was very slapsticky.
Yes.
I think you can have, and I think they would probably tell a better story.
Yeah.
With how the dog's soul and Poochinski swap.
Yeah.
That would be a nice backdoor pilot, like in the whole Good Place universe. Like that is what we should.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me?
I feel you.
Because then you can get a backdoor pilot with Ted Danson, Kristen Bell, and we can figure out like a way in.
Yeah. I wonder what episode 2, because I had to have written a script. Like, what was it? I just want a little bit more.
I want to know how it would go.
You know, would eventually other people know of Poochinski? Would
would
the neighbor lady
Amy
know?
Asbeth would have known. Yeah, I think the kid would have known first.
So eventually people know of Poochinski. By the way, they become partners again at the end because he's a canine cop, and he's like, we're partners again.
Yeah. So that's what. Yeah. Then he deputizes him and stuff like that. But I think Michael Schur, who created The Good Place, I think we could.
How about Michael Shannon as Poochinski? I'm Poochinski.
I like him. But again, it's a
A
different.
man washes his paws before or after he goes to the bathroom. Never both.
But see, I can see him being a little bit more proper, where I think maybe Vince Vaughn would be a good Poochinski.
Yes.
Jim Belushi.
Yes.
Because he's already had Turner. Like he starred in
Turner Hooch.
and Canine.
Oh, Canine, right.
Yeah.
Turner Hooch was the other one.
What was the other one?
John Malkovich as Poochinski. Rough. Bow. Wow. I'm a dog.
See?
So sinking in.
I'm wagging my tail.
You don't need a nose like mine to tell that woman's into you.
We used to hold hands. Now these hands dig for bones. Can you tell that we watch this?
It's honestly, I want to live in the timeline where Poochinski ran for 3 seasons, at least.
Because there would be so many answered questions.
Yeah.
There would be. We would know he would catch his killer, and then they would probably go from, instead of formulaic, from episodic to just formulaic.
It would have to be like crimes where a dog could help. You know what I mean? Like
marijuana busts.
Yes. Shit like that.
You think it could work now if they did Netflix?
I think you'd have to have a really healthy dose of satire. Like, it could work as an Adult Swim show. It's got to be very winky.
Yeah, like Tim and Eric would create it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It couldn't take its premise at all seriously.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried would be a great Poochinski.
He would.
But he's great in everything he
Yeah.
voices.
Yeah. What about Johnny Depp as Poochinski? It would just be Captain Jack Sparrow's voice.
Yeah, it would just be the same bullshit. Well,
You know who would be a good one, too?
who?
Sebastian Maniscalco would be a good Poochinski.
Oh, yeah,
the stand-up comic.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking of somebody.
Ryan Reynolds? Because he's in everything.
He's Pikachu-ski.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work right now because he can only voice Pika.
Yeah.
He can't voice Poochinski.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can only do a few things at a time.
I really believe in this day and age, the way television is shaped now, that if that would come out, it would be the most bingeable show on Netflix.
I think if imagine someone just said there's a show on right now called Poochinski, and it's about a dog that can talk and he solves crimes, and he was the soul of Peter Boyle. By the way, you think Peter Boyle thought, this is it? This is my meal ticket. This is money in the bank.
I think at that point he would just taken anything that was coming his way.
And so 1990, when did Everybody Loves Raymond come on?
Oh, I don't know.
96?
96 seems like the year everything started to happening for television.
Because he eventually hit home. Because you want that series regular money.
Poochinski could have been it.
I know. And he wouldn't even have to come in. He could have just recorded.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's see. I want to check this. Everybody Loves Raymond. 96. to
Yeah.
95.
So 6 years later it came.
6 years later, 207 episodes later.
But I feel like he was always 57 years old. You know what I
Always
mean?
old.
He was always old.
Again, it comes back to what we were talking about on the previous episode with Mean Gene. If you lose your hair and you have like that Friar Tuck look,
Yeah.
you can be like 21 years old, but you can look like you're 56.
He died in 2006.
Right after Everybody Loves Raymond.
It's been a
ended.
while.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his... He played Father Time in the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. He's in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. He's in Santa Claus 2, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. He's in Monsters Ball. He's in King of Queens as his character from Everybody Loves Raymond. Dr. Dolittle. Species 2. He did a lot of shit.
Peter Boyle did a lot. So listen, here's the plot to Poochinski. Ready?
Yeah.
Poochinski is a 1990 television pilot featuring Chicago police officer / detective Peter Boyle, whose spirit is transferred into a fluent English bulldog after he is killed in the line of duty. The canine detective then returns to solve crimes. If that doesn't pull you in, I don't know what does.
Exactly.
So
He's in Malcolm X. Guys, if you haven't watched Poochinski, it's available on YouTube.
Oh God, please do.
Go watch it.
Please do. We had a whole other episode planned, and then once me and Mike found this gem, which I honestly believe we spoke about Poochinski
Before?
just as like a weird rambling. I think Carlo brought it up when we were doing Emilio Sparks Experience.
Okay. We've done so many hours of podcasting, I don't remember.
We've done hundreds and thousands of hours.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly believe I think we talked about it, but I think Carlo brought it up though.
Well, this has been a true mini. I mean, there's so much to say about Poochinski, but I believe we've said it all. So this has been Pop Culture Man Children. I'm Mike Bongiorno. That's Emilio Sparks.
You
can find Pop Culture Man Children everywhere. The podcasts are available.
Everywhere.
You could also follow Pop Culture Man Children at Pop Culture Man Children on Instagram. I'm Mike Bongiorno.
I'm Emilio Sparks.
I'm a cop.
Oh, bye-bye.